Right then, welcome back. Today we are going to do the Sport Bikes Challenge. That's a mouthful. 5 races going from 300cc tiddlers all the way up to race modified superbikes, and this was a challenge. I didn't expect it to be a challenge, although it says challenge in the name. As I said in my previous video, I've been away for a while. I don't know if they've done an update to the AI or they've done an update to the game or changed settings, but I struggled, not so much the early races, but the later ones. Oh, dear me. Absolutely horrendous. But anyway, first race, Road Atlanta short course at night, 5 laps. We went with a YZF R3 because it has the highest rating and I need all the help I can get at the minute. And it was, well, pretty boring for a first race. Not a lot happened. The tyres didn't get warm. I just tried to run away and hide at the front for 5 laps, and I pretty much succeeded. So, 1 down, not the largest winning margin in the world, but a win is a win, and we have the gold medal. And the second race, we were going to go to my favourite track, Magny Cours, and we were on 600s, and just wanted to use something new, so I filtered for performance points. There was a GSXR down the bottom. I was like, don't think that should be there. It looks like I've just stuck a pipe on it, and yeah, I was right. I threw the kitchen sink at it and it went all the way up to the top of the ratings. I didn't really want to use it, but then I saw this, the Virus 986 M2 Stradale. Funny front end on it, a la bimotors, hub centre steering. Never ridden one, did like hen's teeth, although Yamaha, I believe, had a play with one in the 90s, the GTS 1000 I think it was. So thought I'll give it a go, see what it's like, and well, it turns like no other sports bike on the game. I don't know if that was intentional, the way they've done the physics, or when they've took the data from the bike, but it will turn and hold a line better than pretty much anything that I've ridden so far. It's got an inline 4 engine of some description, revs its nuts off, 15.5 grand. The thing that caught me out the most was the braking. So as we got the back straight up towards the hairpin, we draft past into first place, and my marking breaker from my track guide is that marking board there. I go just past it, put the brakes on, and I am way too early, 50 metres too early. Ridiculous. The Kawasaki goes past, so we use the gas, we're back through, and I was like, happy days, we're on for an easy win, bar any daft mistakes. Right on cue, I run wide, out the next to last corner, put a front wheel in the gravel, and we're off. So we're down in 4th, we're at the hairpin, and we're catching everybody up, no problem. Rider in front bins it, so we're up to 3rd, and we're chasing down an Argentinian and a French person. I'm going to guess a French lady by that name, but it is what it is. It's a digital person, not a real one. And we're quicker. We are way quicker. 3, 4, 5 seconds a lap faster. So I just need to be sensible, and what I'm not is sensible, and I'm also not patient, and I want to get past, and I want to win, and I want to win by miles. So coming into this tight right-hander, I try the undercut, and I forget that I've turned the wheelie control off, and I flip it over the back. In my haste to carry on, I get on the gas and flip it over straight away again. So that's 2 off the back crashes in the space of about 10 metres. Now I'm annoyed, so the red mist has descended. I'm banging and barging my way through. Start lap 3, we're back up to 5th, and the bike just, despite the front end being mega, their front tyre would not, and I mean would not get warm. It just would not accept any heat into it whatsoever. So I'm wary of losing the front, I'm wary of it pushing, but it just thought, sod it, I've got nothing to lose, I'm going to have to restart it anyway, because I'm never going to make it and catch up with the rider in first place. However, as it turns out, that wasn't the case. We caught them up on the last lap, and well, in the end, things worked out. Second one done, even though the front tyre was rather cold. Yeah, didn't win by miles, but we were so fast over a lap. 3, 4, like I said, 3, 4, 5 seconds a lap. Just one of them tracks, I just never seem to have a bad race. So, race 3, race modified 600s at the full Road Atlanta track. Now again, I didn't want to go with something I used before, so I spied the CBR 600. And top tip, if you're wearing blue light filter glasses, which I was at the time, double check what colour you're painting the wheels, because to me the wheels on this bike matched the light blue stripe on the bike. Turns out, without glasses on, the wheels are purple and the stripe on the bike is blue. And I was wearing the blue light filter glasses because I've been doing some more work on the computer, I'm editing the videos, and then I'm playing my Xbox, and my eyes were feeling a bit gritty and a bit tired, so my good lady wife suggested some blue light filter glasses, but take them off when you're painting stuff because you'll make it look stupid like I did. But anyway, Road Atlanta, we've chinned qualifying as per normal now, try and start from the back of the grid, and this, well, these guys were quick. This was the first race where I was like, I think something has changed here, because normally a little bit of curb hopping through the chicanes and sticking it up the inside of people, and that's enough to get past and get you into the lead. These other riders weren't ripping each other to pieces. They weren't diving up the side of each other. They were organised. They were staying in a line through a lot of the corners. They would only go past if they were getting a draft or someone ran wide. So we've had enough. We've clawed our way back to first. We're on the last lap down the back straight, but we've got nearly 9/10 of a second penalty. So I'm very aware that I need to absolutely nail the braking point into this corner, get through this last chicane and up and over the hill and across the line as fast as possible to pull out the gap to second place. Now, I'm not a massive fan of this layout, the motorcycle GP circuit. It's a bit meh. So I think I've got enough, but, well, as you'll see in 2 or 3 seconds, I finished second by 8 thousandths of a second. I was not annoyed, just frustrated that I'd spent 5 laps doing it, and I now had to do the whole thing again with my stupid purple wheels that I didn't realise I'd painted purple. But attempt number 2, and it just, the other riders are not only quicker, they just refuse. They refuse to give you anything. In the past, you could kind of get alongside. The odd one would turn into you, but now everything turns into you. They will not give you anything, nothing whatsoever. No space. If there's a tiny little gap up the inside, they're going into it, and they're going past and then braking. So, I mean, that was my fault. How I didn't fall off, I don't know. They both come screaming past, and then carnage ensues. He falls off, and lo and behold, we've made a mess of it and we're in first. And that's pretty much how it stayed. 5-second gap, no more penalties. Get a bit ambitious out of here, get on the gas, it spits me off. And that's another thing that makes me think there's been some kind of change. I mean, I don't check the milestone websites, I just literally play the game and try to convey to whoever watches these videos that I play it for the fun of it more than anything else. I don't really care if they change the physics model, I'm not really bothered, but there was certainly something away. We get to the last race, you'll see there's a lot more of that with the bike not gripping properly. But anyway, lap 5, 3-second lead, 0.3 of a second. It works out alright in the end. Front tyre absolutely stone cold again. If I went any softer on the front, the bike just wouldn't stop. I'm using qualifying to test the setup. I could get heat in the tyre, but I was getting murdered in the braking zone, so it was a compromise, and it worked out alright in the end. We had the 1 lap pace to cover off pretty much anything. So that's 3 done. Race 4. Now race 4 was, or is, at the Snetterton 300 circuit. Now I've had fun and games and shenanigans here in the past with race modified bikes, 1000cc bikes, and there always seems to be a rider who is rather fast. So rather than just flying straight into this, I went away, spent 20 minutes riding the bike around the circuit, got a setup that I was used to. That's the setup you've just seen there, and I thought, it's alright, I've got a good setup. The time's competitive on the leaderboard. It's not anything sparkling, but it was in the top 30, I think. I thought we'll be alright, and the AI were redonkulous, absolutely ridiculous. They were fast, they were organised, there was just no room for anything. It had to be a very, very, very positive move up the inside, and just kind of like a block pass. Drafting was pretty much off the cards. The MV, despite MV's claims of being like a speeding bullet, it wasn't particularly quick. The other bikes seemed to be much faster, and yeah, I kept making daft mistakes. So we've already had an off the very start of lap 1 into the hairpin, and end of lap 1 we're back up to 10th, we're in the draft, and I just get on the brakes and the back end just says no, I'm not having that. Little twitch, runs me wide on the grass, I'm off. Right, we'll go again. Attempt 2. Really struggle with this corner. I can't seem to get the line right. I'm either too early on the brakes or too late. There's no like middle ground. And that individual, Chen Shi, on his Panigale V4, I think it is, fast, really fast. In the later attempts of this race, it was always him or her. I'm not familiar with the masculinity or femininity of Chinese names. Was fast. As you'll see, I've drafted past into first place, brake for the hairpin, and no, I'm coming through there, bit of fair and bashing, and away he goes. And I never got anywhere near. On this occasion, coming onto the back straight, coming around the last long right-hander, I'm way too wide, I'm watching what they're doing rather than watching what I'm doing, and I'm off. Attempt 3, again we're in second behind the Chinese rider. I run wide onto the back straight, back end comes round and we're off again. And this was the absolute heartbreaker. Lap 5, 1.8 second gap, and all I had to do was get through the final corner and get up the straight, and I make an absolute balls of it. Run wide on the grass, lose the front, and a rage quit and several laps of the house trying to find something to smash and or eat and shoot. And then we came back to it after a quick change to the setup, and well, it had to be almost a perfect race. I couldn't really make any mistakes, I couldn't afford any time penalties because that Panigale was fast. So well, it's first lap and last lap. I've saved the full race for the last event, but yeah, this was quick. Done. 5 laps. 5 laps of riding as fast as I possibly could to win by 0.8 of a second. That was not nice, not enjoyable. Sweaty palms, very much. Last event, and this is where things got a bit daft. When I first started doing this, however many months ago, walking and talking you through my struggles and strife in playing this game, I would have 10, 11, 12, 15, 20 attempts sometimes at a race. most of it through my own stupidity, a lot of it through not fully understanding what the game would do. However, I feel like I've got a decent handle on the game. I understand it to a reasonable level. I'm reasonably quick. I'm not the fastest, I'm not the slowest, but I'm reasonably competent at playing this game as a single player game. I don't go online. Since I got destroyed at FIFA by a 5-year-old 15 years ago, and I refuse to play online ever again because it's demeaning and humiliating, and there are much more talented people in this world than me. But anyway, Portimao, 5-lap race. I've used qualifying for a setup, start from the back of the grid, and I bought a knife to a gunfight. The bike, or a combination of the bike and me, we were nowhere near fast enough, nowhere near quick enough. No matter what I did to the setup, if I put some spring rate into the rear, I'd lose all tyre temperature and it would be sliding about all over the place. If I removed the spring rate to get temperature in the tyre, it was pogoing about. No matter what I did to the settings, it just would not settle down. Attempt 1, we ran into the back of somebody at the hairpin at the bottom of the hill. Attempt 2, this is a good example of how organised they suddenly are. They all will race line astern and they'll follow each other around in the draft, and it took some serious effort to get past them. Lap 5, 3 and a bit seconds behind, miles behind, get on the gas, flip it over the back, and we're off. I wasn't going to win it anyway. It was more a voyage of discovery than anything else. So I'm altering the way that the bike compresses the spring and then rebounds, and just trying to stop that pump you can see with a back wheel just bouncing up and down continuously. What it meant was, for some reason, it just wouldn't stop. I was having massive issues stopping the bike, turn the engine braking up, the back end sliding about all over the place, and just, the bike just doesn't want to grip. You can see that from the way that it's handling across here, get on the curb a little bit. I mean, that's more operator error than anything else. And we're in the gravel, so we go again, attempt 6. Last corner, yes, there's bumps in here, but as long as you're on not full gas, normally the bikes will go around it. No, it hits the bump, back end steps out, we'll get off again. Attempt 7, into the hairpin. Rider comes up the inside of us, try and nip round, and back wheel skips in the air, overspeeds, and we're off the back. Attempt number 8, off the start, into the first chicane, bike won't stop, run to the back of the rider, carnage, start again. Number 9, into the first hairpin, and the rider on the outside klexes. Attempt 10, again, bit of a fairing bashing, he runs wide and then just swings right in. I mean, in reality, the rider would see you and avoid you. So what I had to do is admit defeat and go out and qualify. And I could only qualify 5th, that's it. I couldn't get any higher than 5th. I tried it 2 or 3 times. 5th was my absolute limit. Attempt number 11, overtake of my career on the brakes, back wheel hanging in the air, round the outside, into the chicane. Somehow we get it stopped. The front tyre's not enjoyed it, but it's done it, and we're in the lead. Thought, we're on. We are absolutely on. All I need to do is just hit my marks and we're in. A lap later, and the AI decide, nah, I've been sandbagging, that's not happening, mate. Straight up the inside, stops it, covers the inside again. I skip over the curb, which just creates a big enough gap, and he just buggers off into the distance, never to be seen again. I can't catch him. He's just too fast, and I've spent a lot of time by this point trying to win this race, and it's getting more. I mean, look at that, on the brakes, just a touch too early, back wheel in the air, even letting off the brakes and turning into the slide, and it's just off. But I'm annoyed. What I should have done is walked away and give it half an hour and then gone back to it, but I didn't. I just stubbornly refused. So attempt number 12, we're off, and well, I've left the full race on because it was more a triumph on my part than anything else, but possibly the hardest 5-lap race that I've had to do so far. it's done. It's finally done. Yes, a lot of runners and riders fell off in the last lap or so, but I like to think it's because they were pushing so hard to try and catch me. Obviously not, but it is what it is. It's done. All 5 events are done, and the challenge of the sport bikes is done. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I would very much appreciate if you could leave me a like, a comment, and possibly even subscribe. That would make me a very, very, very happy man. So thank you, and fingers crossed I will see you next time. Stay safe. Peace.